to another episode, to the first episode officially of our podcast, Cardigains, where we're going to talk about gains while wearing comfy cardigans. So, what would you like to talk about today, Joshua?
It's needed today.
Yeah.
I am. It's not as cold today, but just the vibe.
Yeah. So I had a realization a while ago, and it popped into my head like Wednesday, I think.
Right.
Cardigans are like house coats, but you can wear them in public.
Ooh.
Right? It's
This
like
is true. You were wearing it at the gym later.
But I can rock it wherever.
Right.
And I look super fancy. Like I like it's like an added little intensifier to the outfit.
It reminds me of the time where you went to wear your house coat outside and you got yelled at by my mother, your mother, somebody's mother. Somebody's mother was not. Oh, we were gonna go get pizza, I think, and you were wearing your Dragon Ball Z little house coat thing. Is that what it was?
The dragon robe, like the satin one.
Yes.
I didn't go out with it though. I think it was.
You weren't allowed to.
Pardon?
You were going to, and you were not allowed to.
Fair enough. It wouldn't be the first time I've left the house with that one.
It happens.
Yeah, I wore it to staff training once, and everybody lost their minds.
That's amazing. Time.
They're very impressed. Ate breakfast. We ordered breakfast. It was like the last staff training of the summer, and we all ordered breakfast. And I wore the house coat, and I was like, I'm comfy. I was pool dad. I'm still pool dad.
Pool dad. I find I wouldn't say the comfiest, but my new thing, which you'll be very happy about, is I feel the most at ease and comfortable when we have, from the bottom up, high socks like mid shin. We got shorts, some kind of like nice looking tank, but then I have a very comfy hoodie, and I can just sit in my bubble, and I can listen to my Machiavelli motivation and get really enthused. My Olin Rogers.
I had a TikTok blow up slightly, like a few weeks ago at this point. And it's the only thing that's ever gone viral ever for me, which was very exciting. But it's basically me describing my gym outfit, and it's like my bacon and barbell socks, my freaking like the shorts you got me, the Alpha Elite ones, and then it's Antisocial Club. There's the shorts. They're so comfy, man.
Oh, they're so good.
Before I get sidetracked, get back over here.
Antisocial, it's gone. It's hidden somewhere. Thought I was with my hoodies.
Anyways, and like I'm just describing the outfit, and it's basically the way you just described it. It's like tank top, t-shirt, hoodie, comfy, and I'm talking like a toddler, and everyone's just eating it up. It's very weird. I don't know why it caught. I don't know why it caught so well, but it did, and people are just like, so cute. We must protect him. I'm like, okay.
The Antisocial Lifting Club hoodie, although I get made fun of for it, is, I don't know. I didn't like it for a bit, but now it's like, it is like stained with chalk. Because even when I wash it, like I'll put it on the next day and I'm like, oh, there's handprints everywhere. I also like
real chalk or liquid chalk?
Real chalk.
I use liquid chalk.
How's that going?
I got that unicorn blood from the raw grip chalk. That shit makes a difference, man. Here, I'll pull it up. If you guys need liquid chalk, this is what's up.
Ooh.
That's the good stuff. I got glare going on.
No, it looks good. I like it.
It's awesome.
I have my own little container because when I went to Popeyes one time, they just gave me a free block. So I took one of my little Tupperware containers, just threw it in. Like I broke it up and threw it in, and it's solid. Like any kind of press typically, and then like pull-ups and deadlifts. Because I just like
I've
I don't
started
know.
I've started using it for presses because some of the dumbbells at Monster are a little like not that they're slippery, but like they don't have like the rough knurling, so it
I know what you
feels and
mean.
my hands get sweaty and whatever, and it just eliminates that, and I'm like I can grip it the way I
It's
have
really
to.
cool watching people go to the back at my gym because they will. There's the people who will just use whatever bar is there, and then there's the people I know where it's like they will find the oldest, rustiest, like sharpest looking bar
Oh
that they
yeah,
can. Just like the deadlift bar they have. Oh, I love it. It was the one from the King, actually, I believe.
good one.
And oh,
I
it's
miss
so
the Iron King.
well, like all the they got a lot of the powerlifting equipment. They got
They
the
got the pit chart from
platform.
there, no?
They got that. They got the pitch charts. They got
Ooh, speaking
the
of pit
the
charts.
squat rack that has the high like bars on it for pull-ups.
Oh,
Like
right on.
yeah, I
So
know.
speaking of pit charts, Monster Gym just got two.
Ooh,
Yeah, they've gone through a whole renovation, and honestly, it's a huge improvement on the gym. I'm really
oh,
enjoying it. Like they painted everything, so it's got like. So you remember how it used to be like red and there was like yellow facade on like obviously
I
the
feel
inside.
I always yeah, I always feel like Monster was white and then like some of the walls were just red.
Yeah. So now and then recently they've had like I think last time you went there, there was like the giant blue wall because it's where the pool used to be, and then they destroyed the pool and put in the CrossFit area.
That's
So
the
the wall was,
outside part, right?
pardon?
No, that's not the outside area,
No,
right?
that's the inside. But
Okay,
basically
sure.
all the walls are black now, except for like a few that are still white, and it looks so nice. And honestly, because dude, I'm not gonna lie, I'd get overstimulated in there between like the amount of noise that happens and the color scheme is just like.
That's so cool.
But now
I
it's
want to
getting
come. I want to come and lift. Last time we did not have the chance because schedule. You were that was like peak week and you were a show, and then I was injured. So like it did not work out the best.
yeah, dude. I gotta say, so I think this past weekend was the Summum Classic, which or the Popeyes Classic
Right.
in Quebec or Montreal, somewhere around, in the
French.
province of Quebec. Um, dude, it's got me hyped. I know a few guys who are competing there, and like I'm very excited for not provincials, but the natural pro qualifier next year. Because people get confused when I say nationals. It's technically not it's not nationals, even though it's a national level show. It's not nationals. Um, but I'm hyped for it. My boy Sam, he's now like almost 3 weeks out. He's the guy with the man bun from my show. Dude looks giant.
I feel like we talk about Sam daily at this point.
Well, it's because he's very impressive. I
I
ran
know.
into him. We had a very like nice conversation on Thursday because I was doing a shoot for Monster, and he was also in the shoot, but also like doing his workout. He was hitting legs, and we like pose in the mirror, and this dude just like dwarfs me in terms of like muscularity. We're the same height, and like he brought this up, but he has a smaller frame than me.
You're very
Technically,
wide. You're a very
yeah,
broad person.
but he has a smaller frame, which makes all his like muscle bellies just look larger, which I found a very cool like tidbit that we brought up. Anyways, I'm now super motivated to get absolutely massive, so I'm starting tomorrow. The bulk begins.
What are you calorie setting at?
We're gonna aim for 4,000. Like, yeah,
To
yeah.
start.
Well, we're aiming between 3,600 and 4,000. That's gonna be like the zone. So like in the first like 3 weeks, if I could only hit 3,600, I'm not going to be mad about it because that's a lot of food.
It's a
But
lot.
I'm gonna aim for 4,000 calories, and it's just gonna be like rice.
So when I came off prep, I stayed at my calories, but I upped my carbs. So I was around like 22, 23. It wasn't a lot. Or it wasn't like a drastic number. You know what I mean? It was like a normal person number.
That was less than my peak week. My
and
peak week was
then
25.
and then I built back up to 3,000, and I stayed there for a couple months. And then I went up to 30. I was like, oh, we'll bulk up 32. Did that for like 2 weeks. I was like, oh, 35. Why not? I gotta get large. Last week I upped it to 36, and already I'm like, yeah, if I just eat and I don't like worry about, because I have like however many meals, like 6-7 meals, right? But I'm always still hungry, so I still get about 4,000 in. So
Okay.
honestly, I might be like, starting on Wednesday when my new block starts, I might just bump it up to 4,000, because like I'm a small child.
How much are you weighing now?
One naked, estimating 156.
Okay.
Right.
And like
but
at
I
the
want to get to
gym?
170. So
Right.
I need a lot. And that's why I want to buy a scale, just so I have it in my house.
I feel like the scale, I think you can get away with like a Walmart scale that just weighs you. Cause like how much is the fancy one?
It's like $40.
Really?
45. Yeah, dude, on Amazon. The one that we were talking about is like 100. But like
Yeah.
on Amazon, you can find body comp scales for like, yeah.
Oh, okay. Then
40,
fuck it.
$50.
Forget about it. You go for that one then. Because in my head, I'm thinking of the one that you were talking about, like the one that checks everything. It's like, oh, that's expensive, dude.
Yeah.
Those go from like 150 to like 200 something dollars.
So that specific one was like 92 or something plus tax. But no, I want that. And it's weird. And I still have to explain that to people where it's because okay, so like there's normal people, right?
Yeah.
Then I work in I guess you could say commercial gym, but
Yeah.
it's like mainly weight loss and like moms and whatever. And then there's us, like we're like way over here, like competitors, and like we're super like into the what we're doing.
At this point, you can count yourself as a competitor. You're getting ready to compete.
One day it will be official.
Next year, you said next year, no?
Yes, next year. But it's hard because when I talk about that, I'm like, oh, I want to know how much I weigh. Oh, don't worry about how much you weigh. You look great. I'm like, yeah, cool. I want to. It's like when I track my food. It's like people's like, oh, you don't need to track your food. It's like, no. Like I need to know I'm eating enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I need the scale. Don't need it, but I need the scale.
But the food
scale
makes a huge difference, though. And like
right?
I've had this exact conversation with like obviously my mother, my dad less so, but like just in general with coworkers or whoever, and it's like they're not, when your goal is to like put on mass, or like you need to do this, or you want to get muscular, it's like you don't need to do that, you look fantastic, like your ladies have said, like they're never gonna understand exactly how you are, what your perspective is, because they don't know, they don't think like that. It's very much for them, it's like, let's live life comfortably as we can, whereas for us it's like, let's get huge, let's get muscular.
We're so weird.
Yeah,
we're so odd. And even like us specifically, see, that's why I'm upset. Not upset, but like there's no big gym like that in Kingston. Like I would say King, which then turned into Omega and Fort, is like mainly strongmen, powerlifters, people who lift heavy stuff and they have a great time.
Yeah,
there's not a lot for bodybuilding, and
you might find more bodybuilders at
Probably like good
Um,
life.
yeah, probably good life because like that it just feels like the spot that most
Right.
bodybuilders would
But
do.
even like we're so odd. Like if I talk about, I have a structured program and these are the meals I eat, these are my macros. We talked about this in our little test episode. It's like I don't have anyone to relate to
Yeah,
because no one takes it. I'm gonna say no one takes it as seriously, I feel.
no, and like,
And even though it's like that's for my specific goals,
mhm,
there's not a lot of people who I know who have even set goals, right? And because they haven't set the goals, they don't know what tools they need or what is the process to get to that goal, which is all the things that I'm interested in talking about more so than just like, oh I was, got a deadlift PR, it was awesome. It's like, no, I got that because I spent months doing this, this, and this. I focused on these little weaknesses here. I was increasing my carb intake. I made sure I got proper sleep before. So it's like,
everything was calculated in a way that led you to that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then even just mindset. Mindset's the big one I noticed. That's just
Well, you've told me about like some people that you're surrounded with that like don't necessarily have like obviously it comes with goal setting. It's like when the goal is not as specific, it's just like I want to lose weight. I want to get this deadlift or I want to get like this bench. It's like, okay, yeah, but let's take it further and like establish the plan. You want to
smart
get,
goals.
yeah. It's like for me specifically, my goal is to gain muscle, right? So like my plan is basically I'm just gonna shovel food into my mouth as as like I, I have to go through a process of like at least 3 weeks where I'm just force feeding myself. That way it just becomes normal to eat that volume of food. Cause like
Even because we're at different points with our diet, right?
mhm.
And because you're in that transitional stage, right?
Well, that's what's up. Like I'm coming
Right.
out of the transitional stage. Like I've show day, I was well, like the weigh-ins, I weighed in at my show at 164.5 or something like that. So I was so far under the weight cap, it wasn't even funny.
Your show weight was my bulking weight from last year. Think about that.
I'm also like 5 years older than you though.
How much of it? Yeah, you've also been training for 5-6 years more.
Yeah.
It's such a difference. It's wild. And we were talking about that as well, where I'm like, I'm in the position that you were when we met.
Mm-hmm.
Which
But also, back to what we were talking about, so we don't go on a tangent just yet. But I have a thought that I have to bring up after. I've put on like 10 pounds and it's not of muscle, obviously, it's of like water and fat, maybe a little bit of fat. I'm still lean enough for my liking.
You can say that. You're not going to be as shredded as you were.
No, absolutely not. You can't be. It's been like, I think
2 months?
7-ish weeks since my show.
Show was on the 11th. Today is the 7th. So, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been that. So and I've been consistently like I'm getting stronger in the gym, which is good. My strength's coming back. Everything's coming together. And now it's time to up the food so that I can like push past plateaus. Well, no, just eliminate because I'm not plateauing yet. I want to eliminate the possibility of plateaus and then gain the weight. Back to the point that I wanted to make, my first show when I was like 18, I think it was like 145 pounds on stage, man. Like I have
saying that, yeah.
Like I want to say I was like 150, but that was like a huge guesstimation, and I honestly have no idea. I ate. This was back when I had no appetite to begin with, so like prepping was kind of easy. The only tough part was I didn't have a scale, so I was just shoveling chicken into my mouth. Dude, it was a weird.
Well, like food scale or weight scale?
food scale.
Yeah, no, I couldn't imagine.
Dude, I'd do mental. I'd make the chicken and eat, like I would make it and eat it and just, dude, I would calculate like half of what the total package was. Like if it was like 1,000 grams of chicken, I'd be like, oh, this is about half of it. So I'm gonna eat like the 500 grams of chicken in one sitting. And the tracking that I would do was super inaccurate and just
Oh, you're
silly.
killing me.
Dude,
Oh,
dude, I didn't know what I was doing. The second prep, I had a scale, and it made the world of a difference.
good.
But like if you were to prep now, like you'd probably be on stage like diced at like 140 pounds, maybe 150.
Yeah, see that tracks because I dropped out at about 7 weeks out. That was
Okay.
around when the show got canceled.
Mhm.
And I'd been on prep since 16. So that's 9 weeks.
Right.
How math works. I don't know.
You had 9 weeks of prep.
Fuck, I don't know how math works.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's correct.
I didn't know it was that long. I think I
It
did
was
like 3.
yeah, well, because you guys started at like 10, 11.
I started at 12.
I started at 16. It's a whole extra month.
You and Cole
Basically,
both did that.
when I finished, I was
Mhm.
at around I think I just broken 150
Okay.
because I started. See, it was a very drastic cut as well because I started around 168, 169.
That's a good weight to start.
Yeah.
What was your calorie drop? Because you were saying you like earlier in this video that you dropped like you were at like 2,200, which is low.
35
Okay.
was my peak,
Was the
which is
highest.
wild because that's what I started this bulk at. Went from 35 down to 3.
Okay.
And then I was around. I actually didn't change much. It was between like 23 and 2,500.
Okay.
I stayed around there. But it was like carbs went from 500 down to 2, like 210 or something like that. It was a ridiculously low amount. And that's what's kind of, I don't know. I've always had issues getting carbs in, so I wasn't bad. Even now, like we were talking before, I've had 3,000 calories today, and I still need like.
And you're still hungry.
So hungry. Fuck.
Do you do shakes or no? Nah.
I try not to, but if I go above 4,000, it will probably be needed. I mean, it's easy, right?
Yeah. I'm probably gonna start shakes. Maybe like a shake in the morning just to like just get the ball rolling. Cause it's calories.
It's not a bad idea. Yeah. I have a point now where it's always been like a joke. It's like, oh, Josh is always hungry. He's always eating. But now that it's like, if it's outside of 2 hours, I get hungry. But I'm making sure every 2 hours I am eating. It's like, so at 90 minutes after I eat, I'm cooking food or I'm taking stuff out of the fridge. And I got to work the other day and I had everyone like swarm me. Like I was setting stuff up in our studio. And my manager followed me in, and then I went to sit to eat my food. And then my coworker came to talk to me, and I went into this little room, and then everyone filed in. And I'm like, guys, I just need like 5 minutes to no one to talk to me, so I can just sit here and eat this meal. I don't want to eat it. I need it in my body.
That sounds like a Branch Warren thing.
Yeah, I know. I heard, I think it was Jay Cutler talking about it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, this is part of my training and I can't talk to anyone. I need to eat this.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's a good mood, actually. It makes me feel like I'm constantly striving toward my goals.
That's good.
Which is odd because I didn't feel like that during prep.
I feel like that prep started off bad because you went right into lockdown at the same time as you like started, right?
It was day 1. Oh,
I think that was like
no. Nah.
I think that should have been like a marker or like I don't want to say an omen, that we should have just like, you should have just cut it like then and there. Just, yeah, this is not going to be a good time for any of us, anyone. Let's just hold off
I
until
was
we get,
committed.
yeah.
Nah. I was committed, and I'm very proud of myself because I dropped 20 pounds, right?
You've dropped a lot of weight fast, though.
It was a lot of weight, and I was miserable. But
I think for
I
the
know
next
that I
one,
can do it in those conditions. So in ideal conditions, you know, when gyms are open and I can see people and I can go outside without threat of being arrested, like it's not too bad, you know?
I think the play for next time would be to drop your calories at a slower rate as well.
Also
And,
that.
and the reason I say this is because you'll retain more muscle as well.
This is true. It was also just, I knew it was going to be a shock, but day one, because it was on a Friday. Day one, great. Whatever. I'm super excited. Day two, it was kind of weird. Like I'm just getting used to it. And then day three, I remember all of our staff members were in our studio. We were talking about the lockdown. And that day we were going to paint everything in our gym. So we're like, why not? No one's going to be here for months. Let's just paint everything. And I was laying on the, or I was painting and I went to stand up and it just, and my mood shot down within seconds. Just, I stood up, my mood shot down. Mentally, I wasn't having it. I had to lay on the floor for about 20 minutes because of the rush of vertigo. I just laid there. I was just like, I can't.
I think you told me about this happening.
My boss is like, pussy, you can do it. My coworker is like, oh my God, you okay? And I'm like, I just need to be here. I just can't do anything. I'm sorry. I just have to be here and ride it out. And I don't think that's normal. I don't know if we want that on day 3 of prep.
No, absolutely not. That's like a bad coach coaching a bikini athlete type thing who had them like.
I'm a bad coach.
No, you're not.
I also have the body of a
I know of a bad coach, and I'm not going to name his name, but he sponsored the Olympia. I'm gonna just retract that. Actually, you can, for all of those listening, you can ignore that comment. Any case, you've never coached anyone. You can't call yourself a bad coach.
That's true.
Yeah. I'm not a bad coach.
We'll see.
Yeah.
They'll let you know.
Got, including myself, 2 of my clients have gotten golds. So,
including yourself.
Including myself.
Hey man. Make it 3.
Make it 3. You're gonna win. That's our goal. Our goal is to win.
I'm gonna win in a category I don't want to be in, but we'll win.
Which category is that?
Physique.
Nah, you'll do well in True Novice. I guarantee you. Your posing's gonna be better, and like I'm bringing you in shredded. We're calculating everything.
See, I'm at an interesting point where I am mature enough that I know a lot of things, and I have the experience, and I have the overall muscular physique. I don't even know what you would call it.
You have a fit guy's physique.
Sure, but I'm also young enough that it is very easy to lose belly fat.
Yeah.
Metabolism is still
also
going.
Have, well, like we said in our warm-up podcast, you have a fast metabolism.
This is true.
And the reason I say this is that you can attain abs without trying. That's for all of those listening, that's my marker for a fast metabolism. If you can keep and maintain abs without any effort to try to keep or maintain abs, you have a fast metabolism. That's
what do you mean by effort, though? For instance, I eat clean. I train abs twice a week.
Yeah.
I'll do a hit session once a week, and then I'll typically do a little bit of like morning cardio once or twice as well.
You're still in a caloric surplus, and you're not putting on fat.
There you go.
I've been eating nothing but junk for a little while. So we gotta cut that. Cut that out.
Stop it.
Yeah, I feel like Fuad.
My favorite quote.
We're not gonna go on a
favorite.
But he's great. I
He's
love
so
his
great.
podcast. If you guys haven't heard his podcast yet, you can go check it out.
Might watch this after, actually.
I absolutely will. Have you seen him and the guys like coming together as one, like in person?
Well, yeah. Oh, that was his most recent one, right?
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of it on Friday. It was Friday when it came out?
It was very cool to see, because as someone who's been watching since like, I want to say like last December, maybe earlier, probably earlier even. Like seeing all the gang like individually, like just all of them come together and hang out. It's like, oh wow.
It's pretty cool.
It's like a crossover episode. But anyways, it's enough promoting someone else's podcast for now.
No, it's solid. They kill it.
They do. They really do. They've found what works, and they're rolling with it, and it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited for you to start prep. I'm excited for me to start prep again, because I felt very good about it.
Maybe that's why I'm not as excited to start prep again.
Why?
Because I didn't feel good for it.
That's fair.
I am excited because I'm just naturally small. And I had this conversation with someone as well, where I've always been the smallest of our little group, or like the youngest, or I know I'm very knowledgeable, but like the least experienced, things like that. And I had this conversation with someone because they brought up my deadlift I had the other day.
Yeah.
Where, okay, I'm 155-ish, but a lot of my lifts are, like deadlift is 345. So
yeah,
over 2 times body weight.
You made it like 2 days ago.
I did, and it was it's yesterday, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling exhausted. But that's at 155.
Yeah.
And at 5'10", that's like normal person, like normal size bodybuilder, like bulk would be like underweight, and then BMI is just obese, probably.
BMI is stupid.
It's pretty stupid. It's pretty fucking dumb. Excuse me. But I'm like, I want to get, if I'm 170, think about even just having the extra mass on my body. Like, what could I accomplish? So that's why I'm very excited as well, because I have been in a surplus for about was it November?
It is November 7th.
Been in a surplus for about 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
Nice.
And I'm still relatively lean because I've been eating very clean. And I've been, because
you're also not pushing the surplus to an extreme where it's like you're spilling over and just putting on fat.
This is true. And that's why I've been building these habits. Like, for instance, I have Fridays off and I'll spend 2 hours, and then bam, that's 8 meals of chili. That's 5 meals of chicken and rice. That's 4 meals of beef and pasta, like things like that. So just slowly ramping up and building these consistent habits so that when I do get into my final stages of bulk,
you're just going to be in like a routine.
And hopefully I won't have an excess of body fat.
Yeah. My goal is just to pack on so much size.
Just get it.
Yeah. I was actually talking to Sam, the same conversation Thursday. And he was saying, and I've heard a lot of people talk about this before, and you reach a point where like you can put on lean mass and it works, and like slowly and surely. But if you you reach a point where you just have to get a little chunky. You have to lose the abs for a little bit, and that extra little bit of weight will help you both with strength gains, but also just like, and from the strength gains, you'll also be putting on muscular gains. So you'll build muscle underneath the fat as well.
This is true.
So that's going to be my focus. Like
I feel like this with a lot of people,
like fuller.
A lot of people don't recognize that sometimes.
No,
because like if I'm wearing a hoodie, right? It's like I still have muscle, you just can't see it because I'm wearing my hoodie.
Yeah.
If you look at Eddie Hall and you're like, he's fat. It's like,
man,
first off, he was
hundreds for like 20 reps.
Yeah, right. No, dude, he's insane. Well, if you ever look at strongmen, they are ridiculously strong because they have so much mass, and they are constantly fueling their bodies.
It's the old saying is that weight moves weight, and like I can't remember who told me that. I think it was someone from the Iron King. I'm gonna give credit to Arthur because he's the real king. But weight moves weight. You get big, you're gonna move big weights, and like that's just it.
So it's
yeah. But I'm excited. I'm very excited to help you prep. It's gonna be a cool experience because we're gonna do it like very like calculated, but we're gonna make it as relaxed as we possibly can.
Well, it'll be good as well because you were even mentioned last time how because we were going to be competing against one another, like it was very different vibe opposed to like, okay, no, we're working together. We want the greatest outcome possible.
For those of you who don't know, I feel like would be a lot of you. Josh and I were supposed to compete both together against each other, along with our friend Cole, who on TikTok is Barbell Boa. Check him out. He has great videos.
I want to clarify. We were all going to compete together. They were competing against one another. I was over here having a good time doing my first show ever. Easily, you guys were going to have 20 pounds on me on stage. Like, there was no way. There was no way.
Cole was going to definitely show up bigger than me, but I think I would have, like, from what I saw, I think it would have been a fairly even playing field.
We talked about it so much of like Cole's size versus Max's just flow.
I want to, because that's really where I beat him because he's bigger than me. He has more mass. But I think like just my detail might be what would have gotten it. And honestly, he could have totally beaten me regardless because I prepped him for his first show. And he might have shown up with his new coach, like had looked even sharper than last time.
Yeah, his same thing as you. His new coach is the guy who beat him. Like that.
Oh yeah, he was saying. And I would like to clarify the reason he left me as a coach, left my coaching, is not because I did a bad job. It is because he didn't want our friendship to get like in the way of like coaching.
Well, that's in like a power dynamic, right?
Yeah. He didn't want that. And we're still buds and we're still cool. And he did fantastic. He was honestly, he had a lot of praise from a lot of people.
He did so well.
He did really well. His energy on stage was phenomenal.
It was interesting seeing as well. I have all these like Snapchat and other memories popping up. Yeah. Because Max is in Montreal, right? Whereas Cole and I are in Kingston. So when we went to the same gym together, I would see him during his prep. And like we'd take videos and watch him pose and all that. And it was so weird. Because he is like a 210 pound man. So seeing him at like 160 or whatever it was, I was like.
He went from very fluffy. No, he was 170, I think. Or like just a little bit under 170.
even still, I was like, I don't like seeing you this lean.
Dude, his girlfriend was so mad. She's like, I miss Fluffy Cole. But he did very well. He got, what did he place?
They get a first.
He didn't get first. He didn't get a first. He got like second place, I think 2/3 and a fourth. Maybe.
He did very well.
He did very well.
For his first show.
I think he placed top 3 and everything. And that was against people he never placed last. And that was something to clarify. He did not place second out of 2 people. I know too many people who say, oh yeah, I got first. It's the only one who showed up.
Well, that was like your one show.
That was like my one show. It was the worst experience. It was so. Ugh.
I also want to point out that like we came in with a plan of like we'll talk about some things, whatever. And now we've just been rambling.
All right. So in that case, let's hit me with the first subject that you want to hit me with.
It's also been like 40 minutes. We did not set a time.
That's okay. Hit me with the first subject.
First subject is on the whiteboard. Primarily, we were going to talk about overcoming obstacles and the journey.
That's a very good one.
Right. So I don't know. There's been little points here and there where we talk about prepping, right?
We've gone all over the place with this conversation, and I kind of like the direction it's gone, to be honest. It's got good balance.
That's solid.
What would you say is a big obstacle that you have in terms of training?
In terms of training overall?
Oh, I guess. Well, what's a big obstacle that you find in life? Because we can get super deep with this, or we can not. It really depends on where we want to take this podcast.
So there's 2 that come to mind, and that is confidence and body image.
I feel like this is a very common theme.
Right.
But it's a good conversation, and I'm ready to have it. Are you ready to have it?
Which would you like to go into? Let's start with confidence because it's more exciting.
I feel like both play very well.
They do, but I'm thinking. I'll explain what I'm thinking. Right. So, for instance, I got a deadlift PR. Briefly mentioned it yesterday. Felt really good. And the reason I felt good is because this is my maxed out / deload week. So I'll take 1 of the 3 lifts.
Contradictory.
No, it's fine. Okay. So to clarify, I'll take 1 of my 3 compounds and I will go for a 1 rep max. For the other 2, because I don't include overhead press, I will go for a rep max. And then all of my other weights, because I'm more like power building, even though people say that doesn't exist. All of those other things, let's say I'm doing leg extension and it's 40 pounds single leg with a 4-second negative. I'll just get rid of the negative. If I'm doing chest flies, cable flies with 25 kilos, I'll drop that down to 15. Right. Okay. So it's either I'm getting rid of some extra aspect or I'm just cutting the weight. And I feel like it's been working very well. And the confidence from that came from I squatted 2 plates and I was going to rep it out RP 10. Why not? And I wasn't sure how to feel. And I was like, okay, we'll go for like 5. I know I've done 5 before. 5's a goal, easy goal. But then I was like, well, this is all I'm really focusing on today. And I know I've felt very confident in my abilities my last few weeks. So I just kept going and I kept repping it out and I got 8. I was like, whoa, that's insane. I like that because whenever I have 1 rep maxes, I always psych myself out. So then I carried that in the bench. 165, I was thinking maybe 4 or 5. Oh, I know what I said. I said minimum 3, aiming for 5.
That's true. We had this conversation.
I got 7. And I felt amazing because I was super into it. Deadlifts, My previous pair was 325, and I was building it up, going through my warm-up sets, and I was just on it. I was feeling so good. I was feeling so confident. I was listening to Dragon Ball Z Motivation because I love it. And it's always been my favorite. And now that I'm actively going through Dragon Ball Z, not as like a child who just knew like, oh, the green guy's fighting the tiny bald guy. Now it's like, oh my God, like I know all the names and what's going on.
You know the storyline.
L just showed up and I'm like, I know who he is.
So I still have to make my way through it. So like there won't be any spoilers. I know a bunch of people die and then they come back and then die again. But I was working my way through it as you got my Funimation and then you like skipped over my spot. It's okay. It's okay. I'll get back to it eventually. I've got like 6 other animes to watch.
Yeah, you've been watching Black Clover. Anyway.
Yeah, dog, it's great.
No, and I was just so confident and I knew I could do it. Pulled the cleanest rep of my life.
It was real nice.
Send Max the video and he can throw it up at some point. Man, it was just easy. PR felt super good. And my friend said, oh man, that was great. Add 10 pounds. What?
Who said that?
He's like, Zach. And he's like, no. He's like, I know he can do it. It was too easy. And I was like, nope, I'm done. I can't do it. I'm shaking. My body's shot, whatever. And he left because he went to go like in a different room. He's like, text me when you're going for it again. And I sat there, wasn't feeling it. I was like, I need food. My abdominal hurts from when I strained it. It's coming back. I'm really shaky. I used all my energy, blah, blah, blah. And then I just sat there and kept listening to things. And I just like the hood up, stare. And I just kept thinking about it. And eventually I noticed my hand was like, just started shaking a little bit. And I was getting into it. And I felt my whole body, like I was getting that confidence back and I knew I could do it. And I was like, no, I'm just like, I'm going to psych myself out. I can't think. I just have to listen and be present where I am and hold this bar as hard as I can and just go for it. And, just having that confidence. Like I would never in a million years think I could do it, but just building up that confidence slowly through repping up, just like lighter weights I knew I could do for as many reps as I could, and knowing like with my training, everything was really well. And it was great. And then I have days where I just feel awful and I feel like I can't do anything. And I wear a hoodie the whole time because if I see myself, I'm like, I am small and that sucks and that's too fat and I hate that. And I just lose all the confidence, right? So it's like, it's finding, for me, it's finding that inner drive and understanding. Let's say I don't really take rest days. If I'm injured, obviously, 100%. But, and I say this all the time, it's the days that you don't want to go that matter the most. Because you can have the motivation, but it's leaving at some point. Like, I don't know who you are, but you're going to lose it at some point. And you need that discipline. And I feel like having that discipline has built up that confidence in me. But I always forget sometimes, so I need other people to call me up. That was like 5 minutes of ranting about.
That's okay. Confidence. It was your go.
So that was my day yesterday. And then today I felt awful. I was super tired. And
well, you just maxed out, so that's normal.
Right?
Your body's gonna be a bit shot.
Still went through the motions.
That's okay.
Did it.
So what was the initial topic? Just like
talk about confidence. Something that people struggle with. Overcoming adversity.
Mm.
The whiteboard says? What the whiteboard says.
So I'm gonna go for my confidence. There was a point in prep. There's a few points in prep where I just felt like I wasn't on a good track, or like I wasn't doing well, or I wasn't making any progress. Like I wasn't getting leaner, or like in my head, I didn't feel like I was improving.
Which is bound to happen.
It's bound to happen. Like it's bound to actually happen, and you're bound to think it's happening. So like what happened with me is like whenever I'd have a cheat, and I think this is something that next time around I just won't have, because they mess with my head and they get me out of my zone. Which like sometimes you need like a cheat meal, and sometimes you're allowed a cheat meal. And I was like, okay, I'm making good progress. We can afford it this time. Then the next day I would be holding so much water, and it was not until like the third time that this happened, I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. And like it always happened on like the same day of the week, just because it would line up with something.
Right.
And then on Fridays I'd see my posing coach, who will remain anonymous. And he'd be like, yeah, you look fantastic. You look great. You're on the ball.
Right.
And it would just turn out that like by the Friday, I would have flushed the water. I would be like back to the conditioning that I needed to be at. And I was like, okay, I'm doing well again. I'm okay. I'm not doing as bad as I think. And like, I think what that is you need like for me, I needed that support group.
Right.
And this man who has seen competitors before and knows for the most part what to look for, and like when someone's on or off, is like, as much as I love my girlfriend, she doesn't necessarily know that I'm on the ball. To her, I look fantastic, and I love her for that. But there's a bias there,
Right.
obviously. And so like having that outside, it's like, okay, yeah, you're on the ball. Like, no, don't freak out about this. You have nothing to worry about. Keep doing what you're doing. And then like, I think, yeah, as soon as I cut out the cheat meals, I was like 4 weeks out, and I was like, oh yeah, now we're feeling ourselves. We found my pacing, and it's like, okay, we're going now.
So did you have any high carb days then?
My high carb days would be the cheat days.
Right.
But the issue there, and this is something that I have to change for next time, is that I will most likely just like either reduce them completely, or like just get rid of them, or maybe have like 1 or 2 throughout the 12-week prep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I was in a weird spot too, where my coach, he's such an extremist, right? So when I was eating 2,400 calories.
That me?
No. Like you were saying that I was eating, not enough food. It's like, oh, you're too low. Whereas he was saying, no, you need to go immediately to 1,800. The only carbs you have
I remember him now.
From fruits, vegetables. He's like, don't eat rice, don't eat this, don't eat that. And I'm just like, but then I also know, I'm like, you're wrong. I'm like, I'm not gonna listen to what you say. And I routinely did not listen to what he said. And it turned out very well. Mm-hmm. And I know I would have been absolutely miserable if I did what he said.
Mm-hmm. And so like the thing about that also is that like, if you're willing to go that route, you can't go to work.
No.
No, you can't function on the daily basis. Like you could definitely go that route, but you're going to be like on the couch doing nothing.
And he's a business owner, right? He owns a chain of like, when he was on prep, I think it was 4 or 5 restaurants. So he was kind of able to do that. Right. And he can just manage, and not have to actively go out and do things. Whereas for my job, I am,
you have a very physically demanding job.
If I'm working an 8-hour shift, then that is at minimum about 6 hours that I'm on my feet walking around and like doing things and repetitions of movements and running back and forth through the room. It's getting super hot and like, no, which will be very interesting to see during prep.
This coming year. Get you a Fitbit to see what happens.
Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad idea. Like, it's not something to like cut out completely, but like it'll help like to sort of regulate where to add cardio in as
True.
well.
I have to hold my phone to control music.
Mm.
So on average, like let's say today I coached 4 classes, and Samsung Health says that I have 23,000 steps. And yeah, which is
That's a good number.
so most people struggle to get 10, right?
Yeah.
So 23 is not too bad.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting just seeing how that adds into it, because it's all math.
Mhm.
At the end
It
of the
really
day,
is. Like,
yeah, I know.
outside of peak week, it's very easy to prep. Like I say easy, it's like very like as long as you have the structure of prep, you're fine.
Yeah. It's just a routine,
Yeah.
right? And so I feel like with your cheat meal, because that was outside of your routine.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's sort
something
of
that
like
just
threw
like
off and like added in things that like just weren't doing me well or like helping with the end goal. And like obviously I looked fantastic on stage and like it worked, but I feel like if I hadn't done the cheats, I might have been able to be like a little bit sharper, or just like I might have actually no. By the end of peak, by like the week before peak week started, I looked as good as I wanted to.
You were doing very well.
Yeah, but I feel like I need to change my peak a little bit, or how I peak.
It's definitely hard.
Yeah,
it's very hard mentally, and I feel like
is.
that's where building that routine comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Did I tell you about? I'm sorry.
And then on peak week, you throw that routine out the window, and you're not doing anything. Yeah, it's gonna be rough. And when you do peak week, I'm gonna get you to take the week off, because like you're gonna do keto for at least 3 days, and it's not gonna be fun.
Is that like the fun keto where I eat a stick of butter, or like what kind is? I love those people. I'm like, I'm healthy. I'm eating 8 pork chops. It's like, okay, well, stop.
I was eating a lot of eggs and hamburger patties. I was allowing Frank's Red Hot sauce, but I think like in hindsight, I should have like just eliminated all sodium. And I went for the option of peanut butter, but I think next time will be peanuts, like just straight peanuts, because like it eliminates like carbs, and it also just tastes like there's no sodium in there. Well, like there's
I am
less.
going to experiment and see if I can eat raw peanuts.
That's dangerous for you. You should take.
So I have a weird allergy. Almonds are the worst. Almonds are the worst because that made my throat swell.
Yeah, so we won't go there.
All natural peanut butter made my face go a little numb.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do
is we're gonna change.
And a lot of people say that and they're like, "Oh, you eat peanut butter." Like, I eat Kraft low-fat peanut butter, which is like all sugar. Right? It's not
that shit.
It's not really peanut butter, right? And I can eat that, and I don't have any kind of reaction, which is good.
But see, that's the thing, because that was what was available for me. For you, we could just get you to have like the avocado or something.
I very recently purchased avocados because I made fajitas. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of digging it actually.
Yeah,
they taste.
That surprises me.
I like it.
I'm surprised you like avocado, because it doesn't seem like something that you like texture-wise that you'd enjoy.
Oh, I know, I hated it. I didn't like it.
And okay. I thought you said you liked it.
Slowly acclimated to it.
Okay.
And it's okay. It's kind of like pasta. I like it a bit more than pasta.
It's weird to me that you don't like pasta. How do you cook your pasta?
I never ate pasta until I was like first time I had lasagna was with you. when we do a Sinona, like I don't know what to say. Oh man, that has ruined lasagna for me. Nothing ever will compare to this
Fair enough, man.
beautiful Italian grandmother with like fresh herbs and stuff from her garlic. Oh,
It was
and her
really
garlic.
good. I think we brought Isabel along with us that time.
We did, and she was all. There's another one was talking about how she hates people with tattoos, and I was like, oh, that's crazy.
Covers up.
Why not?
She's not a big fan of tattoos, no. But how do you cook your pasta?
In water?
Well, yeah, but do you let it get soggy or do you keep it a little
No.
al dente? Because if you
She's a little tender.
okay, good. Because like someone I know very personally cooks it, overcooks it. I'm not gonna say who, but they've since kicked the habit.
I assume it's your girlfriend.
It's not Rachel. Rachel's a good cook. Rachel's very
does.
good at cooking.
My thing too is that, and you're gonna hate me, it's not actual pasta. It's rice pasta.
That's good too, though. But it's
It's odd though, because I am hungry within an hour. I'm like, I just
There's
ate
nothing there.
130 grams of carbs. I should not be feeling this way an hour later.
double it.
I did. I did.
Good.
Oh, it digests so quickly.
Maybe I'll do that. I'll just eat and just shovel it into my mouth nonstop.
I'm liking it.
That's good.
Did I tell you about why I dropped out of prep?
I feel like there was a number of reasons, but we can talk about it now.
There were a number of reasons. I'm talking about eating food. So you're talking about like cheat meals, and I don't even know. I don't even know what it was. It was some food, and it was great. And the next day, the cravings were really bad, and I think someone had the idea. It was like, okay, it's fine. It's not gonna throw you off track. You're however many, you're like 2 months out, it's fine. Like just eat it again, eat something tasty, take your mind off it. And I was on my kitchen floor. My ex at the time came in, and I was on my floor in tears because I was eating like a 5th chicken finger or some shit like that.
Oh.
And I just mentally I couldn't do it. And I was like, oh, I'm fat and this is awful. It's gonna ruin everything. And she's like, you need to stop like right now. And I was like, oh yeah, actually, because that was the 3rd time that day I had cried over food. And I was like,
okay, yeah. So if that happens again, I need you to tell me right away. Mm-hmm. Like right away. Like don't keep it inside, because if that happens again, we're not doing prep.
Which is why this current little bulk I have, I'm like surprised at how amazing I feel.
Okay, good.
Because I don't know,
well, you allow yourself these little like cheats because you have chicken fingers and you have like poutine every once in a while, and like it's gonna change with prep.
It is gonna change, and it's gonna be difficult. But
we still want to like have a positive relationship with food, because like if you find yourself in a position where it's like you're on the floor in tears because of fucking chicken fingers, like that's not good, man. That's
like healthy baked set to my macro. Like it wasn't even a cheat meal. It was
there you go.
It was it was not good. I was also like, we binged hard. We had some pretty fucking tasty meals, but like, no, it was not ideal. But also, there were many other stressors and factors, right? Mm-hmm. We're going into it. Yeah. It's weird. I feel like food's a big thing. Mm-hmm. Max has been very proud of me over the years.
I have.
As I've slowly pushed aside any negative connotations with food. I even had this pair of sisters in today. They're amazing. I love them. They're great. We talk about all the time. And
love it.
they were talking, it was a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about calories burned or something like that. And how one of them wanted to have food. And she's like, oh, I gotta burn that amount of calories. And it's just, he was like, no, Jen, like, you don't burn calories to earn food. It's not a reward. It's just something you eat. Just do it. And I was like, and in that moment, because they looked at me and I was like, your sister is right. But I also have the same mindset as you, but it's not correct.
Mm-hmm.
I used to, not anymore.
Yeah.
It's changed. It's very hard. It's very difficult.
It is very hard to get over that, and like to live in a I want to say live systematically so that you don't put yourself in that position when you need to earn your meals, because like our famous quote, you need gas in the tank for the car to go. Like,
gotta feed the machine.
Feed the machine.
Shout out to my grade 12 rugby teacher, not a coach. I had a class where we just played rugby the whole time.
That's the coolest class.
He said, yeah, I know. And he would say it all the time. It was at 5 p.m. at night in the winter. Yeah, I know. And he's like, you gotta feed the machine. Your car's a machine. You gotta feed the machine. You're right.
And he's right. And like that's what a lot of people don't get, is that like in order to function, like people feel like shitty all the time and like just broken down, just gross. Like, go have a nice meal. It doesn't have to be a burger, doesn't have to be anything specific, but go like have a bowl of cereal or something. Have like a little snack. Put something into your belly, and it instantly you'll feel better.
100%.
Yeah. Like there is, of course, like situations where this is obviously more difficult, and we're not going to get into that because that's not what this podcast is about, and we're not experts on that.
Right.
But what I will say is that in like situations where I'm having a terrible day, or like I'm just feeling like gross or depressed, or like in my little like I don't want to leave my room type of moods, if I go and I have like just like a hearty meal or something, I actually eat, because I get into moods where I can't eat. Like I don't naturally have a big appetite, like unless I get into the force feeding thing, which I have to do specifically for bodybuilding. Don't worry, guys, it's calculated. We're it's calculated and regulated.
Your body is growing 24/7.
Yes.
So you need to feed your body very consistently. Exactly. And it's not an unhealthy thing. It's that naturally I don't want to eat this volume of food, but to achieve my goals, I need to do it. And that's where we're also like, you know, I'm eating rice pasta. I'm having a lot of chicken, 500 grams, Max is throwing it back. Like, it's also not unhealthy food. Yeah.
But anyways, back to the initial thing. If I'm having one of those days where I'm feeling terrible, I'll go and I'll finally have something hearty and like eat like my chicken rice and like get it in me. I'm like, oh, that's why I was feeling terrible. I haven't eaten for however long.
People joke about it all the time at my work, and they're like, oh, my one coworker's moving. She moved in the States. She's like, so glad I don't have to deal with you when I'm prep. So moody. And like, just because I'm not eating. And my body just doesn't like that. I'm gonna be honest. I said that to my friend today. She had escaped like a toxic environment. And I was like, I'm so glad that mentally you're doing great. I'm like, physically you're doing amazing too, but like we kind of care about the mental portion a lot more.
That's big time what we care about. Yeah. I was surprisingly not grumpy all the time on prep.
You were pretty happy.
Like I got to a point where I was just like, you know what? I don't have the time to be angry. I was also in a very like positive environment. Like I was lifeguarding all summer during prep, and like the only time where it was difficult was on like our staff outings where there'd be snacks or like people would be drinking. I was like, I would love a beer, but I'm not gonna have one.
Sorry.
Because I cannot. Also, I don't really actually know. I don't like drinking very much, I've learned, which is okay.
Also had this conversation today with a
Mhm.
point that I say it like so often to people, where this one woman at my gym, we were doing class, and she was like, she mentioned how she went out last night because it was her husband's birthday, and she was like really tired, and she was like, yeah, and I don't really drink. She's like, you don't drink either, right? It's like, how do you know that? What? And I was just like, yeah, the last 9 times I've drank was because at work, it's like, oh, let's go to the bar right beside us for a meeting and just hang out. I'm like, yeah. My boss is like, you have to go, and then she orders me a drink. I'm like, ah, okay, cool. Well, it's just, it's not fun. It doesn't taste good, and when it does taste good, is then when it's gonna be awful the next day, and it's just like, no, it's
Like,
no.
there's definitely a level of balance that I enjoy. Like, I'll have like a Guinness because I do genuinely enjoy drinking Guinness. Like, if it's a nice beer,
Mhm.
I've learned that I like stouts.
Stouts.
Yeah, it's a type of beer.
I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
know
know
what
what
all
it is.
this.
I just know that I like stouts.
Sure.
But like I'll have a Guinness with the boys like once in a while, and
You say it like that. Now
like
because with the boys.
with the boys. But I'll have a Guinness and 1 second, and I maintaining that balance between drinking and just keeping what's comfortable for you. Um, yeah,
That's fair.
yeah.
I don't know. I was just never in. I don't know. I just was never about it.
No,
Probably has something to do with the fact that my father's been in Alcoholics Anonymous for 30 years.
that's
So
big.
as a kid, I would go to meetings. Probably like mentally, that's done something to me. I like to stand in groups outside of churches and smoke. You know, it's just right. uh, that's a good joke. I know it's funny. But no, it's just not fun. It's
Yeah.
just not enjoyable.
Like it depends on like the situation, obviously. And like when we were living in Kings together, I was in college, I would drink a lot. Um, I feel terrible the next day. Now I'm 26 and I feel it the next day, man. Like, and then like that takes away from training. So like,
Right.
what am I gonna do?
The last time that we went out and I had a drink was that was when I believe I got my second vaccine and I was out.
Dude,
That was at like 1 p.m. on Thursday. I woke up on Friday because I worked at 5 a.m. We set everything up and I turned to my boss. I'm like, I can't coach today. And I threw up behind a dumpster. It was bad. And then I went home, slept for like 12 hours, woke up. It was like 10. And then our other coworker, who also got her second dose, she's like, no, I can't coach
oh
guys.
yeah,
So
you
we
were
had to
talking
go in
about
and do
this.
that. The next day, we then went out for a staff meeting, and I only had, it was like three pints. A lot for me. And I was just once again violently ill. I
Yeah,
always get very sick. I think you've noticed that
that's
whenever I
true.
drink.
Well, when we were living together in Kingston, you'd have
It wasn't a lot.
like a drink and then just yak.
Blech. Your
We thought we
favorite
were
story when I'm like
alcohol
leaning
for a while.
down the staircase.
Oh my god. There was that one night that we came back from the McDonald house. Their next door neighbors were having a party and you did your Irish
Oh yeah.
and I
Yeah.
caught you on your way out. And then like I was like, bye Josh. And then 5 minutes later, I was like, I miss Josh in my drunkenness. I was like, I'm gonna go home and find you. And I get into the house, like having already forgotten why I left.
Nah.
And I hear voices upstairs. I'm like, what the heck's going on? It wasn't your voice, and it wasn't
That's
Kendra's
been a
voice.
very weird scene.
And like I come up into the attic, and the staircase is like right next to where the entrance to the bathroom is. So like I come up and I just like my head pops over and your head's right here. Your feet are up on the wall. Are you okay?
I was so sick.
You're not having a good time.
So maybe that's also why I don't drink.
That's a very valid reason not to drink.
It is very valid. And it's no, it just messes me up.
Mhm.
And then the next day I can't eat properly. I feel awful. My training's off.
Yeah.
And that comes in again where we're very odd and we're very different. Where we're like, yeah, we're not gonna do this because I gotta get super ripped tomorrow. So like, I don't know what to say.
Well, we have to function on a certain level to reach the goals that we've set for ourselves.
It's so cool. It's so cool that it's a point where it's not. And there's so many people I see where they say, "Oh, I haven't hit legs in a week. It's just I'm not feeling it." Hey, what should I hit today? Oh, I'll join you in what you're doing. I'm like, no, I have a program. I have to do this. It's not a it's not a maybe I want to do it. It's like, no, I have to do this. I have to eat these foods every 2 hours. I have to go to the gym. I have to do, a little bit of cardiovascular training. It's like these are things that I physically have to do. And I just can't afford to not do it. I can't turn it off.
Well, I've finally started getting into my life along with my physio, which my shoulder's like great at this point. But I've started doing that before every like time I'm doing an upper body day, and it's like it's just one of those things that I have to do. I've started doing abs because the physio gave it to me, and I'm like, okay, every upper body day I'm doing dead bugs, and I don't.
I also do dead bugs.
I know.
Abdominals. It's so good.
And it's instead of it being like labeled as like a chore, it's like, oh, we have to go to the gym. It's like, oh, we don't have to go to the gym. We want to go to the gym. It's that thing we enjoy doing because we have partially because we just like doing it, but also because we have goals that require us to train in a certain way, certain amount of times a week. Like we have to do this because we want to reach our goals. We enjoy doing this, and like it's we like it.
So fun.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I saw some meme. It's like I'm literally just a metal pipe in a heavy circle. I'm like, yeah, but I love you. You're great. The best part about my life. I don't know what to say.
I've gotten to the point where just lifting is enjoyable. Like I'm back I'm not on prep anymore, and like lifting is like a fun thing.
Because and for me, I don't know if it's different for you, it is a necessity, like no matter what. But then there are moments where it's more enjoyable, and it's like you have the ability to just mess around.
Well, that's with the balance of life and whatnot.
Right.
But roller coasters. But yeah, there are days where I don't want to do it, but like, and I'm like, oh well, I'm gonna feel much better and like have a much better day if I do it. And like
you never see a person who works out and they're like,
I shouldn't
have done that, and like that's no. You're always going to enjoy it. You're always going to have a great time afterwards.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm really glad that I went and did that. Partially because we're close to our goal. Partially because, hey, you know what? I went and did the thing that I enjoy doing. It's like, you know what? Right on.
This is true.
Mm-hmm. And
I also want to go back to the topic of confidence, feeling good, saying that like you have to do this. When I was warming up for my deadlifts, when I was at 2 plates, I was like, okay, set to 3, and I hadn't used the belt. I was like, well, we'll see how it feels. And I have my headphones in, I'm walking up, and I see my friend Zach go. I'm like, what? It's like, no, don't use the belt. What? Like, he's like, you don't need it. And like,
I mean,
obviously, like I didn't need it. Obviously, I wanted to use it just to figure it out, but he told me not to. So I was like, my cat's fine, whatever. I'm not going to do that. So I'm like, he told me to do it, so then I focus more on my bracing, and I don't know. It's little things, and that's also where repping out a lighter weight for as many reps as possible. Or what I'll do sometimes is if I'm doing a drop set, I'll say, I'm like, hey, give me a rep count. It'll be like 20. I'm like, I was going for 8. He's like, okay, aim for 20. And I'm like, okay, cool. My man might not get it, but he said I had to do this, so I'm just repping it out. We had a similar thing the last time we trained together. If you remember, we were doing a superset of press in the flies, I think it was.
Possibly.
There's someone like that, and we're like,
Drop
no, we're
set
doing
would be,
this amount of reps, and we would have to stop. If I'm going to 20, maybe at 15, I have to stop, shake it out, but then we go right back into it. So maybe it's not a full set, but I did the amount of reps.
Well, you did, and that's well, CBUM does those things. That's called a rest pause. So you're still doing them, like as
clusters too is another good way.
I love clusters.
Clusters are good.
Those are more like calculated. Like I feel like
I was
3-3-3 and rest pause is like, okay, I did 10, I can't get 11 just yet. I'm gonna take a sec and then you keep going.
I will do that, and it's fun. Yes. That's similar to our friend Jordan Rouse.
Love Jordan Rouse.
Love that guy. Remember one time he was benching, and he was doing sets of 5 with 5 deep breaths in between. Ooh. And he just went as like that was his main working set of the day. And I think he got through about 3 to 4. Oh, that's my alarm. It's been about an hour. And he did about 3 to 4. I also
gotta get going to eat soon.
But it was cool. And it was cool having that because it pushed him. It pushed him past what he thought his limits were. This is like, I am going to do as many as I can. And it's like, okay, well, if I got to 4, I'm like, well, the goal is 5. And I do 5. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Now we'll take a rest, and I have to do another 5.
I dig it.
That was good. So that was us.
That was us.
Kind of rambling.
But I feel like that was a much more focused rambling.
Yeah, that was a lot better. I feel like, well, because last time we talked, it was more just talking.
Yeah.
Whereas now we had a little
more focused. Anyways, I guess that's it for today.
That's episode 1 of Cardigains.
Hope y'all enjoyed. We'll see you next week.
100%. If anyone has any topics, let us know.
Yes, I'll be posting in my Instagram stories. Both of our Instagrams we will link below. Definitely hit us up. We're gonna post stories, post stuff regarding Cardigains and our individual accounts. So even in the comments, leave questions, subjects you'd like us to cover.
100%. And at the end of the day,
to ramble about.
We're still. I would say the main reason of doing this was just to ramble, and because people are interested in what we have to say. So throw it out there.
All right. In any case, Adzir, peace out. Have a great afternoon.